People automatically assume he had to have done something because you hear how everybody would, you get this role in Hollywood, you had to have done something. So now all of a sudden my podcast is moving up the ranks.
What you do?
So people automatically assume, man, look here, man, I don't play like that.
What's more important to you, credibility or going viral?
A lot of times, Cam, I don't even know. I didn't know that it was going to go viral. A lot of these clips that go viral.
I don't think they could cancel Shannon Sharpe. You know why? He's too popular with everyday black people. Shannon Sharpe, Snow Bunny Shannon Sharpe, he has a podcast. And he interviewed Katt Williams, and Katt Williams exposed everybody. Shannon Sharpe played the whole interview. Before Shannon Sharpe interviewed Katt Williams, he interviewed Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey felt, Oprah felt, that Shannon Sharpe should have been a little bit more protective of the reputations of the person discussed on his platform. And he was not so when interviewing Katt Williams, and he has not been so when interviewing other people as well. Shannon Sharpe broke the Hollywood rule.
If I just do athletes, what's gonna set me apart? It's just gonna be an athlete interviewing athletes. So I pivoted. I said, what if I do celebs? What if I do entertainers? What if I do rappers? What if I do influencers? And I started thinking, McDonald's didn't become McDonald's by just selling hamburgers. They sell chicken nuggets, they sell fish sandwiches, they used to sell milkshakes, but that machine is broken all the time.
Things are going to get really interesting, everyone. The outspoken man, Shannon Sharpe, has accused Tyler Perry and Oprah of attempting to ruin his career. And what do you know? This is not a sporadic outburst. For years, Oprah and her team have been shutting down black talent, especially if they dare to deviate from the norm, according to Monique, the queen of keeping it real. However, no one was interested in listening at the time. Monique's truth was dismissed as inconsequential and swept under the rug. However, those same sentiments are now being echoed by Shannon Sharpe, a titan of the sports industry and, more recently, an internet sensation. It appears that they misjudged the person they were interacting with. You are aware that we are here for every moment of this messy situation.
I'm telling you this, and I want somebody to send it to you. And I've been seeing it in the chat. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
I don't know who you're talking about, but I'm with you.
My name again, and I'm gonna release the DMs because you're lying.
Yeah.
You said I reached out to you to come on Club Shay Shay, and you a mofo lie. But Kim, I didn't know it was gonna cause this kind of ripple. I didn't think it was gonna move me in the direction. I'm glad it did. I understand what comes along with that lie. But if you remember, he said it. He said, this is going to put you in another dimension.
He definitely did.
All of these big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way.
Katt, and I look at my producer, and he's shaking his head. I'm like, oh man, we done messed up. So I'm like, what did I say?
Yeah.
Did I say something? Did he? He like, this is gonna be the talk of 24.
No way.
I'm like, you think so? He's like, yeah. And he's looking at me just like I'm looking at you, Cam. He's like, yeah. This is gonna be viral for the whole year. I said, come on, man.
But hold on, what actually took place? Shannon Sharpe had this thing going on, you see. These well-known people would appear on his show and talk. Really talk. Real, grounded conversations rather than just the typical PR-approved spiel. Even if you were a huge celebrity, Shannon had a way of making you feel like you were just talking to a friend. People adored it. Seeing these legendary people reveal their stories, show vulnerability, and open up was energizing. For a while, everyone was winning and there were positive vibes and stimulating conversations. Other famous people adored it as well.
This is what we're trying to accomplish, and this is showing the negative side of this other society, and this is our hero. It's our hero who's going to go do America's bidding and go over there, and you're like, okay. And those movies are successful, and so they continue this relationship, and You become a bit of a propaganda arm for the government. And in turn, they don't with you.
So I started to see, I said, okay, if he has a following or she has a following, yeah, they come on my podcast, now that's a different set of eyes. Yeah. And I was like, that's it. So reach out and I get a Steve Harvey. I reach out and I get some of these big name, a Magic Johnson and some of these other guys.
Then he was wearing Katt Williams. Katt is a different breed, isn't he? He is undoubtedly a funny guy, but he always has that edge, that I'm going to keep it real even if it hurts mentality. You could almost feel the tension in the air as everyone knew this interview would be different. And it did not let me down, man. Katt came in full force. He wasn't sugarcoating anything. He was discussing everything, including social issues and personal matters. It was honest, unvarnished, and to be honest, a little awkward at times.
I remember when I did Cam. I remember getting up and I turned back and I look at my Katt, and I look at my producer and he's shaking his head. I'm like, oh man, we done messed up. So I'm like, what did I say?
Yeah.
Did I say something? Did he like, this is gonna be the talk of 24.
No way.
Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. They play good women, and I believe that the best actor should be in the best role. We put too much pressure on Tyler Perry. You know what I mean? He ain't put nobody on. The people that been in his productions, they not famous. All of them could walk through the mall without security.
You couldn't take your eyes off it, though, which is what made it so captivating. It was similar to watching a slow-motion car crash, but you couldn't stop staring because the car crash was a burning social commentary. Things were never the same after that interview. All eyes were suddenly on Shannon's performance. The discussions and the potential for another explosion of truth were more important than the well-known names. Shannon and everyone else were just trying to keep up with Katt Williams, who not only raised the bar, but blew it up.
I've never been propositioned. I've never been approached. I work, I try to create the best content that I possibly can. I try to create content that I feel that my viewing and listening audience want to see, want to hear, and that's the team that I've assembled. That's our job, is to try to create the best content.
Even apart from him being a sports analysis with Skip.
And before he did the sports shit, he was a Hall of Fame tight end.
And before even being in the NFL, yeah. See, I know.
And his story is really crazy too, because he used to be really, really insecure about his speech impediment.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like gotten comfortable with just
to the point that now he's here. That's why he was yelling at Skip Bayless.
Yep. No, Skip Bayless is just like
Skip
was niggas don't want to work with. Yeah, he's a dick.
Skip. Facts.
Yeah.
Yes, to put it mildly, things became very intense after that Katt Williams interview was released. You see, Katt didn't just voice his opinions. He called out a number of prominent figures, including A-list stars, powerful figures in the industry, and everyone else. Let me tell you, he didn't hold back.
This is gonna be viral for the whole year. I said, come on, man. I say, so I'm thinking at that point in time, Steve Harvey is my biggest viewed, is my most viewed podcast. He's at 8 million. I said, you think we're gonna beat Steve? He's like, yeah. I'm hoping for 10 million. Yeah. That's all, Cam, if I get 10 million, I'm like, that's a pretty good interview. Yeah. Think about how few people that's in this space that interview people that don't get 10 million. Sure. So if I get 10 million, that's one of the biggest podcasts. Now, that's not Joe Rogan's numbers, but that's pretty good for an up-and-coming podcast. Right. So I hate, I detest, I despise someone that will prey on the weak. And because Jerry Jones is in an advantageous situation, because he has the power in this situation, he would actually say that publicly. That tells me a lot about a man. That'll tell me a lot about a man that has power and would abuse that power to tell that man, I will get somebody in here to ask me favorable questions. That is absolutely that guy's job, is to ask Jerry, why didn't, Stephen A., what you should have done is say, well, Jerry, you see the way you guys were getting ran through last year? And you mean to tell me you had guys on the bench that could have done a better job, and you're waiting till this year to play them? That doesn't sound very smart to me. Well, I don't know about you, Saturday Swagoo, but normally guys that can play, they normally play. But back to this. What do you think his job was? See, Jerry wants all the credit when things go well, but none of the blame. He told us how many times, the buck stopped with me.
Any deal that's ever happened, I either signed off on it or I got notified of it. Now, you getting trounced. You getting run through like Sherman went through Atlanta during the Civil War, and now you want no part of it when they ask you about it. Boy, this is embarrassing. And I don't take this lightly.
It goes without saying that it did not excite everyone. The retaliation was severe and quick. The court of public opinion was in session, people were picking sides, and social media was on fire. Shannon, who had always been adored, was suddenly targeted. In an interview, he even acknowledged how difficult it was to cope with the negativity. He was aware that the Katt interview would generate controversy, but he didn't believe anyone anticipated it would become so widespread. The entire entertainment industry seemed to be watching, anticipating his response to the fallout. "Have you not seen the media?" he asked.
Gotta have a real stable at-home situation to understand. I got meetings, I got study, I gotta train, the way I eat, the way I sleep. I have to understand that.
I'm Wendy Williams, a gossip columnist, and suddenly I'm gay because Katt did the interview. "Be prepared, because it's going to come," Katt warned me. In response, he said, "I expected the fans of the opposing team to hate me when I played sports, but I had no idea it would be like this in Hollywood." "I would be lying if I told you I expected this," Sharpe went on. It also became personal. He was being attacked for everything, including his character. A respected figure on and off the field, Shannon played in the NFL for 14 seasons, primarily with the Denver Broncos. He made a smooth transition from sports to sports commentary, joining the always frank Stephen A. Smith on ESPN's First Take and becoming even more successful with his own podcast, Club Shay Shay. His reputation as a straight shooter, a man who always called it like he saw it, remained intact throughout it all. Therefore, it really hurt to have people disparage his reputation, cast doubt on his moral character, and start rumors about him. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, he even acknowledged that the most difficult aspect of the backlash to handle was the homophobic attacks. He claimed that, particularly in the frequently poisonous realm of social media, it just demonstrated how ugly things could get and how quickly people would resort to personal attacks when they disagreed with you. "Social media is so influential," he continued. In 2016, a man came to the White House and kept saying the same things over and over again, and people began to believe him. People will accept things as true even if they aren't, if you say them enough. Declaring someone to be gay is unacceptable. You cannot persuade me that it is acceptable. It is not. Furthermore, it extended beyond anonymous social media trolls. In their stand-up routines, other performers like Eddie Griffin and Mike Epps even joked about Shannon. Even though both comedians later expressed regret, the harm had already been done. It only demonstrated how ugly things could get and how easily, particularly in the frequently toxic realm of social media, people would resort to personal attacks when they disagreed with you. People often disguise things as jokes, Sharpe told the Envy. Jealousy. "I have nothing against homosexuals. Whatever you decide to do is your life, and to each his own." However, some became a bit too serious while these two were making jokes. Oprah and Tyler Perry reportedly disapproved of Katt Williams' remarks.
But I felt very, very good because I knew the size of the lady game.
Rocks, yeah.
No did it, Pete Paul's now. I'm just saying. I just knew that. Cause I know they just wait. They wait to get us.
They waiting on you.
We knew I'm talking about in basketball terms. Don't y'all be going this. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just the one time. I'm saying it for Ocho and I on Nightcap. No did. He said, "Now they're gonna come for you." I said, "Can't come for me for what? I didn't say anything."
Right.
He said, "They're gonna come. And they're gonna say a lot of different things. And they're gonna be some people that you thought you might be able to get that they're not gonna come now."
Right.
And that's absolutely happened. I remember when I did Cam, I remember getting up and I turned back and I look at my Katt, and I look at my producer and he's shaking his head. I'm like, "Oh man, we done messed up." So I'm like, "What did I say?
Yeah.
Did I say something? Did he like, this is gonna be the talk of 24.
No way.
I'm like, "You think so?" He's like, "Shannon." And he's looking at me just like I'm looking at you, Cam. He's like, "Shannon, this is gonna be viral for the whole year. I said, come on, man. I said, so I'm thinking at that point in time, Steve Harvey is my is my most viewed podcast. He's at 8 million. I said, you think we're gonna beat Steve? He's like, yeah. I'm hoping for 10 million. Yeah. That's all, Cam, if I get 10 million, I'm like, that's a pretty good interview. Yeah. Think about how few people that's in this space that interview people that don't get 10 million. Sure. So if I get 10 million, that's one of the biggest podcasts. Now, that's not Joe Rogan's numbers, but that's pretty good for an up-and-coming podcast. Right. So I felt good. Man. But here's the thing I tell people, if I'd have had Katt mic'd up from the time he got out of the truck until the time he sat down, it'd have done 100 million. Oh, he was on it.
You see, Katt's interview wasn't your typical one. During his nearly 3-hour tirade, the man attacked everyone and everything he had a grievance against, including people in the music business, Hollywood, and more. Invitations to Diddy's party? Katt said it was suspect. Did his jokes get stolen by Cedric the Entertainer? Apparently. It resembled a long list of complaints that were all expressed on Shannon's platform. It was understandable why people were upset. It was like witnessing someone throw a grenade into a room full of famous people and then quietly leave. And whether he wanted to or not, Shannon ended up being the one with the pin. What was Katt saying? They were crazy, man. He went after Ricky Smiley and threatened to stop working with him unless he was dressed in a dress. To his credit, Shannon appeared surprised by that one. He even questioned Katt about why he had included such a thing in a contract. That's where he's a believable actor, Katt said, doubling down. He and Tyler Perry play good women. They are incapable of playing a man to save their lives. Can you even begin to imagine the disrespect and the audacity? Unfortunately, his attempt to get a rise out of everyone was successful. Approximately 2 hours and 20 minutes into this intense interview, Katt focused on Tyler Perry, the creative force behind the media franchise and innumerable other movies and television series. Katt wasn't impressed with Tyler Perry, a titan of the entertainment industry who is renowned for giving black actors and crew members opportunities. He launched into a tirade about Tyler not really putting anyone else on, which means he wasn't using his power to elevate someone else to fame. He implied that the actors in Tyler Perry productions weren't receiving the same amount of opportunities or exposure as Tyler by pointing out that the majority of them would pass through a shopping center without being identified. Katt then went one step further and mentioned Tyler's acceptance of LGBTQ+ people. In essence, he urged Tyler to support more black LGBTQ+ actors if he was genuinely interested in uplifting the black community. He even charged Tyler with being a gatekeeper, someone who could have opened doors for others but decided not to. It was an audacious and divisive statement that fueled the already raging controversy surrounding the interview. Just when you thought Katt was done pushing the boundaries, he mentioned Oprah. For years, there were rumors that Oprah and Tyler Perry had mistreated Monique, a black actress with extraordinary talent. Katt jumped right into the controversy without holding back. He suggested that Tyler should be even more mindful of promoting other black talents, particularly those who have been disregarded or mistreated by the industry, in light of Oprah's alleged actions. Katt contended that Tyler was complicit in the system that held some people back by failing to do so. He was a gatekeeper, according to Katt, who had the ability to alter the rules but opted to follow them. It was a daring charge that linked a number of well-known scandals and placed Tyler Perry at their core. Regardless of your opinion of Katt, it was impossible to ignore the unsettling issues he was bringing up regarding responsibility, representation, and power in Hollywood. You have to give Shannon Sharpe some credit for getting through all of this. He was a saint. Imagine this. Shannon is sitting quietly in his chair, nodding along and occasionally even smiling as Katt Williams is going off and dropping bombshells left and right. "I'm just here for the tea" was perfectly embodied by him. He was aware that he had a live wire in Katt because he didn't hesitate to voice his opinions, regardless of the repercussions. Shannon simply sat back and let Katt do his thing, without attempting to control him, censor him, or change the topic to something safer. He was the quintessential hype man, establishing an environment in which Katt felt free to let loose. even if it meant upsetting some extremely influential people. But Tyler Perry and Oprah? Yes, they did not find it funny. Rumor has it that they were furious that Shannon allowed Katt to air all of this personal information. They perceived it as a betrayal, an indication that Shannon was picking sides in this messy Hollywood drama, and they believed that he had made the wrong decision. They believed that he had given Katt a platform and a spotlight so that he could publicly disparage them without any opposition. It was particularly painful for Oprah. Being a voice for the voiceless and an advocate for positivity and empowerment had been the foundation of her career. It was hurtful to have someone on her purported friend's platform accuse her of being a gatekeeper and of helping to keep others back. It put her on the defensive and called into question her carefully constructed image. According to reports, Tyler Perry was also incensed. In the process of building his empire, he had given numerous black actors and crew members opportunities. It felt like a slap in the face to have his accomplishments downplayed, his intentions called into question, and his influence turned against him. This felt like a direct assault on his reputation and legacy, which he had always fiercely guarded. The interview had immediate and serious repercussions. Like wildfire, rumors of feuds and drama behind the scenes proliferated. People formed and dissolved alliances, took sides, and the entire situation turned into a warning about the unpredictability of celebrity and the power of words. Katt added more fuel to the fire just when you thought things were getting settled. He began discussing his personal experiences in Hollywood, saying that he had been fighting for years against pay disparity. He suggested that he lost opportunities and money as a result of his candor and willingness to expose the existing powers. Then he revealed something shocking. He implied that he had information about Oprah, particularly regarding her purported involvement in swaying Hollywood and banning certain people. He didn't elaborate, but it was obvious that if you cross Oprah, you're out. Once more, and with even greater fervor, the rumors began to circulate. Had Oprah silenced her critics with her power? Did her carefully manicured image have a darker side? Because of Oprah's silence on the subject and Katt's cryptic warnings, the questions persisted. Some sources claim that Oprah was incensed at Shannon for providing him with a platform, in addition to Katt. Rumors circulated about legal threats and backroom machinations to discredit Katt and limit the harm. Careers could be made or broken in this full-fledged Hollywood scandal. However, from a technical standpoint, Katt and Shannon aren't entirely incorrect because, according to Monique, Oprah and Perry did destroy her career.
Remember when I said earlier, I've never seen so many cowards and black men in this business? I would have to put my brother Tyler Perry in that. I've never worked with Tyler Perry.
Okay.
I never worked with Tyler Perry. The way that relationship came about was, firstly, Daniel was making the call because he was mad. Because he thought Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey was trying to steal his movie from him. So those were the first phone calls I was getting, baby, and he was reading them for life, okay, calling them all things.
A lot of times, and I think I went back and I watched like 30 minutes of it, and I just like damn. Because I went back and I'm like, damn, he said that? Where was I? He was saying so much.
Right.
That I'm like, but Kim, I didn't know it was gonna cause this kind of ripple. I didn't think it was gonna move me in the direction. I'm glad it did. I understand what comes along with that. But if you remember, he said it. He said this is gonna put you in another dimension.
He definitely did.
He said.
But my mama said, boy, there's power in the tongue.
Yes. He said, he told me, and my guy Jordan is over there, he said, now they're gonna come for you. I said, can't come for me for what? I didn't say anything.
Right.
He said, they're gonna come. And they're gonna say a lot of different things. And they're gonna be some people that you thought you might be able to get, that they're not gonna come now.
Right.
And that's absolutely has happened. That's absolutely has happened. They were so excited. Thanks for reaching out. We can't wait to sit down. And a day later, they can't do it. And then no call, they won't follow, so forth and so on. So I understand.
For those of you who don't know, Oprah and Perry allegedly targeted Monique, which sparked all of this chaos. Now let's go back a little and travel to 2009. At that point, the film Precious was released on the big screen. This wasn't just any movie, though. It was based on a real story and featured a number of outstanding performances that captivated viewers. Monique, who portrayed Mary Lee Johnston, the abusive mother of the main character, gave one of the most impressive performances. She did a fantastic job in a role that was very different from her typical comedic roles. The following year, she won an Academy Award and a Golden Globe for her outstanding performance. However, there was some major drama developing behind the scenes of Precious while Monique was enjoying the glory of her victories. As you can see, Oprah Winfrey, Lee Daniels, and Tyler Perry, some of the biggest names in the business, were the film's producers. When Monique was asked to promote the movie at the Cannes Film Festival in France ahead of awards season, things became a little tense.
Then, Tyler Perry and I had a conversation at the Hoodie Award. At the time, it was called the Hoodie Award, when they were trying to get me to go do all of this press internationally.
And for those that don't know, who put on that Hoodie Award?
Steve Harvey put on the Hoodie Awards in Vegas, right? So it just makes me smile the way this whole scene went down. So I'm beckoned to go into Tyler Perry's dressing room, right? I'm beckoned. So I go into Tyler Perry's dressing room, and there are about maybe 25 people on Tyler Perry's team. And he does this.
Like that. Okay.
And everyone leaves. Well, I have my security with me. And I looked at my security like, you don't work for Tyler Perry. So my security stayed in the room. So Tyler Perry says to me, listen, you may really want to consider promoting this film. Because if you get nominated for an Oscar award, your next film is $3 to $5 million. And if you win it, your next film is $6 to $8 million. I said, Tyler, who you talking to? I'm a black woman. Where do they pay those type of salaries, brother? I said, what I cannot do, Tyler, is work for free. I've done what I was supposed to do. I cannot go overseas and do this for free, Tyler. So then he goes on about his spiel, you know. I said, well, listen, you can write me the check for me to go overseas. I don't care where the money comes from, but I'm not gonna do it for free. He says, well, I don't believe in giving money away for free. I said, I don't believe in working for free, so we're on the same page.
I said, Oprah, I have a husband. I have babies. I'm doing a comedy tour, and I'm doing a talk show. I'm going to make the most of my brief period of free time. I am therefore not going anywhere because I am under no obligation to do so. I've done my share, she said to The Hollywood Reporter. However, this is where things started to change. According to Monique, she was barred from the industry shortly after the Cannes incident. She feels that her career was severely harmed by being called a difficult person to work with. Years later, Monique is still calling for justice. She demands that Tyler Perry and Oprah issue a public apology. You may be wondering why now. Here's the thing. Monique says that Oprah and Tyler Perry haven't publicly apologized for their roles in her career's demise, but Lee Daniels has. She claims that they have not spoken out and have refused to take responsibility for the entire situation. Therefore, Monique is demanding accountability rather than merely an apology. I won't be silenced. I won't be pushed aside, she seems to be saying as she stands up. To be honest, we're not shocked, because Monique has a reputation for voicing her opinions. Let's now discuss the conflict between Monique and Oprah. It seems that after Oprah invited Monique's family to appear on her talk show, things became even worse. They were present to talk about Monique's childhood suffering, a very private subject that was made public. This didn't exactly excite Monique. Their ongoing feud was fueled by the statement, "It felt like a private matter was being turned into a public spectacle." Regarding Tyler Perry, it appears that he has changed his mind. But what does that actually mean? Is he attempting to disassociate himself from the drama, or has he made the decision to apologize? In 2022, Monique made a shocking revelation in an interview with T.S. Madison. She revealed that Tyler Perry had consented to apologize to the media and make amends. The worst part, though, is that Monique claims he broke his word. But hold on, there's more. Monique says she has a recording of their conversation to support her claims. Yes, she claims to have evidence that Perry agreed to acknowledge his wrongdoings. In other words, this drama has become much more captivating. We're all waiting to see what happens after Monique seems to have revealed her secret weapon. Will Perry remain silent, or will he eventually acknowledge his wrongdoings? Let me explain the audio in more detail before you ask any more questions. According to reports, Monique leaked the audio during this very show, which is why Perry and Oprah are attempting to have Shannon canceled and his show shut down. They talked about a lot of things, including how Tyler Perry allegedly got her banned from Hollywood. Monique claims that Perry severely harmed her career by spreading the rumor that she was a pain to work with. This is the juicy part. During the interview, Monique disclosed that she spoke with Perry over the phone about the entire matter, and guess what? She sent Sharpe the call's audio so he could listen to it for himself. Therefore, Monique is providing evidence to support her claims rather than merely making them. I forwarded Tyler Perry's audio to you. I don't want you to believe me, Monique stated. That was a lie and a rumor that cost my family tens of millions of dollars.
Community is involved, and they want to see how it's going to play out. Because the community is saying, wait a minute, hold up. We don't know this sister to be no bullshitter. We know she a loudmouth. We know she'll say some shit off the wall. But what we know about it is she true to her word.
And all I would ask you is two questions. The first question is, did you not just say it was wrong?
Tyler.
Did you not just say it was wrong, Tyler? To say she was difficult for not doing something that she was not contractually obligated to do? Did you not say that you would feel that that was wrong? Or am I missing something?
Yeah.
So the question I would say is,
is there a number? Taking that back to them was just a huge problem, okay? And I'm listening to David Calvin in a minute because I just watched your podcast, and it really broke my heart because number one, I feel you. I feel the sadness that's from you in all of this. And I don't want you to feel that. I mean, especially for me. I can't speak for anybody else. But for me, I'm not anyone that wants to hurt or offend anybody, especially you. I think you are brilliantly talented. I think you should have a lot more happening from that award. I thought for sure that if you had campaigned and won it and played by their rules, what would have happened is in the next deal, you would have got more money, millions of dollars, and your career in the film would have been much different. I believe that much in your talent. So in saying all of that, I just say it's just heartbreaking because I don't ever want you to think that I'm not trying to blackball or say anything. Please give me what I say this. I'm not trying to hurt you. I would never try to hurt you.
if Monique asked Lionsgate for a favor and they told her no, and she's asking for a favor that is not contractual, not something that they're contractually obligated to do, and they told her no, but then she went and told the world how difficult that they were, do you think that that would be fair or unfair?
No, that's not fair. It's not fair.
So the question, pardon me. So the question I would ask of you, good sir, because I appreciate you being honest enough to answer that with a relative quickness. I really do. So the question that I would ask you is this: if we should do unto others as we would have them do unto ourselves, the question I would ask is, how do you sit back, or how would you feel if someone said about you that you were difficult to work with because you didn't want to perform for them a function that you were not contractually able or obligated to do? How would you feel about that?
Well, as I said, that's not fair. If I bring a movie for Monique over there, I'm going to have to say it. I'm going to have to defend it. I'm going to have to fight for it.
Well, it's easy. It's easy because all you would be doing is telling the truth. You are 6'6" black man.
Come on.
Listen, I ain't got no problem, man. I ain't got no problem. Trust me when I tell you, I ain't got no problem.
Well, that's why we saying then say it now. Say it now.
Say it now. I'm black and I'm proud.
Come on.
James Brown is counting.
I'm saying it now. I will let all this cool off when I get back out on the press tour to promote my next thing. I know it's going to come up. That is when I will talk about it. But no, it's too hot. It's too hot. Y'all heated it up.
One thing that stood out in that conversation, it ended with the notion that he was about to speak publicly to start defending you or kind of let people know, hey, she was actually right. Did that ever happen? Did he ever come to your defense?
No.
Monique stated, "We don't know the sister to be a bull. What we know about her is that she keeps her word even though we know she's a loudmouth and will say some crazy things." Perry added, "There's more. I don't want to offend or hurt anyone, especially you. You have extraordinary talent, in my opinion. You ought to be doing a lot more, in my opinion. I was certain that your career in this movie would have been very different and you would have received millions of dollars more in the next one if you had run your campaign the way they wanted and followed their guidelines. I think you have a lot of talent. I never want you to think that I'm saying something shady or trying to blackball you." Perry went on to say, "Hear me out. I don't mean to cause you any harm. I would never attempt to harm you." However, Monique and Perry's conversation continued. Perry once claimed that he would be forced to stand up for Monique and defend her if he brought a movie to her. That seems like a pretty good promise, doesn't it? Here's the catch, though. Monique wanted to hear him make that promise to her directly, so she asked him to do so over the phone, but Perry refused. Perry appeared to be trying to patch things up, but it appears that he wasn't quite prepared to commit to Monique. It seemed as though he was only prepared to go so far,